Hey, coaches, welcome back to Football Talk with Coach Chip, Season 2, Episode 14, rocking right along. Don't forget our sponsors, Johnny's New York Style Pizza in beautiful, historic downtown West Point, Georgia, just off the interstate if you're going from Atlanta to Montgomery, between LaGrange, Georgia, and Auburn, Alabama. If you're headed toward Auburn for a ball game this fall, pull off there at Johnny's, avoid the crowd in Auburn and Opelika, and eat at Johnny's New York Style Pizza. Tell them Coach Chip sent you, complimentary garlic knots, and I'll take care of them when I see Ben next time I'm in there. That's a promise. I'm thinking Johnny's. And Right Equipment, headquartered up in Birmingham, Alabama, the football capital of the South, or so it says at Legion Field. Train the right way. Call Leo Wright or Alan Creasy at Right Equipment. They've been equipping weight rooms across the United States, high school, college, for years, for decades. And they'll hook you up and they'll treat you right. Train the right way with Right Equipment. All right, today we're going to be talking everyday drills for offensive linemen. Let's get started. Okay, coaches, first everyday drill. I've been doing this for years. When we went wing T 20 plus years ago, in the I want to say it was in the Great Blue Book by Tubby Raymond, wing T of Order of Football. He called it the bird dog drill, and I'd never done it before. I was in my 30s at the time, and it made good sense. And so what we do every day, and I even drew the grid. You can see I've got the grid right here. And this grid is drawn up 5 by 5. Some people do it 4 by 4. I think anything smaller than 4 by 4 squares is too small, especially in modern football and so many teams throwing the football. You need the 4 by 4 or 5 by 5. And you can do it in your practice field. If you want to do 5 by 5, I noticed that Alabama, they just do it in one of their end zones on the practice field, since they've already got 10 yards, and they just put a series of these 5-yard grids in there. And I've noticed other colleges that do this as well. But the grid is outstanding. Now, I've got the players in the upper left-hand corner. That's what the circles are. And you can put them anywhere. You can put them in the middle, or you can put them on the side if you're working zone steps or lateral steps to the left, and you want them to step over the line to teach them, to take the proper step. Put them on the left. You want to take a right lateral step. You put them over here on the right side like this. And yes, I'm still using my Just Play that I got. Very reasonable. Give them a call. Okay? That's good stuff. So if you want your own thing to do. And what you do is you just have them practice their steps. You're going to lead step, tempo step, bucket step, drive step, whatever you call your first step, and for the different things. And I do it for every practice. First thing we do, I said on the line, okay, bird dog drill. All right, drive step. All right, ready, go. Ready, go. And they'll just take their step. Ready, go. I usually do 3 times. All right, left foot, drive step. Ready, go. Ready, go. Okay, reach step, ready, go. And just go right foot 3 times, left foot 3 times, and it's just muscle memory. Playing offensive line is doing the same things over and over and over again. Now, some coaches say, I don't like everyday drills. You got a problem with boredom. That's a you problem. Your kids need to be a little bored with some things, because to me, boredom is the beginning of learning. Okay? In other words, once you start getting bored with something, you've learned it. Okay? And doing the same, and the kids know it. Hey, if I got out to practice late, faculty meeting, whatever, some kid needed a chin strap. It always happens right before practice. The chin strap buckle busted the day before, but they didn't think about it when they're going on the field. And so you're grabbing a chin strap, and you're about 2 minutes late getting up the hill to the practice field or wherever it is you go for practice. And your older kids have already got them on the line or in the grids doing the bird dog drill, because they know that's what's up next. So my first drill I always do, bird dog drill. Just practice all the steps that you do. You say, well, that's too many. Then you got too much crap in. All right, next one. All right, next everyday drill. And this is a good one. And by the way, guys and gals, I ain't telling you this is how you got to do it. I'm just saying this is a good way to do it. And pick whatever drills you want to do, things you want to be good at. And I call this mud walk. It's kind of like, they bend their knees. I'm not talking about duck walk. And they just do the short, choppy steps for 5 yards, like they do when they were driving somebody. I call it mud walk because it's like they're walking in mud. Okay. And then I have them punch. If I don't have anybody for them to punch, they'll punch air and fit up on air. Okay. And then they'll laterally slide to the right. And then they'll kick slide at an angle, pass pro, kick slide at an angle left to go back where they came from. And then you do it again. You'd move them over to the other side where they come and punch, slide step. Okay, with their hands out, like, they're blocking, they're fitted up on somebody, and then they do their step slide at a right angle, coming back over here. Okay, and so look what you're doing. You're getting your mud walk steps, your drive steps, keeping a good base, keeping their feet apart, short, choppy steps, like they're pushing a truck or pushing a school bus, and then they're sliding sideways, shuffling, which is good agility too for big boys. And then they're working on their step slide. And so that's a real good one as well. Okay, if that's the kind of stuff that you do. All right, let's go to the next one. Boom. I love this toy. Just Play. Okay. I'm not crazy about my mouse right now. Somebody just said it's a user problem. No, it's not. It's not. All right, then Fit Drive. Okay, and then, you can do as many kids as you got. I don't imagine too many schools have more than 15 guys on the O-line. And we got about 15, but that's the most I've ever had. And even and considering it's a small school, that's a lot. That's 9th through 12th. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, that's 9th through 12th grade. All right, the Fit and Drive. Okay, and it's real simple. You're still using your lines. Put them on one of the lines, one of the vertical lines, and they're going to drive them down that line. Okay, so they fit and drive. You can also then, after they've done, and what I do is this: they'll drive them. Excuse me, out of the box. Okay, you blow the whistle, then they flip it around, and the other guy, if you're using bags. They just exchange the bags, and the other guy, then the triangle will drive the circle back. You see? And so you're getting reps, and it's up to you. What you do in the summertime, this time of year, and some of y'all are about to start your summer workouts, you take the time easy the first week or so and teach them the order in which you want it done, and teach them what words are, teach them the language. So when you say Fit Drive, all right, so after they've done that 2 or 3 times a piece, okay, then you say, all right, Fit Drive and Weave. All right, then what they do is the triangle will start weaving, not too much. You don't want to go crazy and they step on each other, but you kind of weave back and forth, making this guy drive him out of the square, but he's having to stay with him. He's having to work his hips to stay in front of him, to stay fit on the guy. So you got Fit, Drive, and Weave. Okay, you can also do your step, slide, pass, pro, boom, like we talked about right there. Okay. All right, let's click to the next one. It's a little slow, but it's not because of the program. That's my Wi-Fi. Okay. All right, this is a good one. Your reach, depending on what you do. And you're doing it all right there. You can do this in 10 or 15 minutes. And if you're working for a head coach that's not giving you at least 15 minutes of ID time, then you need to have a talk with him. Okay. My guy says he's going to give me 20 every time it rolls. Right? And we got kids. Our kids go both ways. But you got to dedicate yourself. And I think that so many coaches don't understand the importance of indie time, especially to the O-line. They get down there with the backs and do a little ball security drill, a little mesh drill, and they're ready to roll. But playing on the line takes a little more work. And so they'll be better prepared for inside run and team time when you give them that 20 minutes. And like I said, 20 minutes to me is a must. 15 minutes on the tail end. Anything less than that, you might as well not even be doing it. Honest to God. All right, so work on your reach, and how you teach reach. If you're doing like the wide zone, you may do a different reach than somebody that's doing a more traditional reach, like the old school reach, trying to get out there and capture that outside shoulder. And there's, again, you're inside the squares, inside your grid, and they know where to line up. There's lines every time. Lines are a must. If you're coaching in a rec league or something like that, and you're practicing in the outfield of a softball or a baseball field, buy a can of paint. Clear it with the rec director or whoever the facility manager is, and buy a can of paint and get you some string and draw your grids. And you got to have lines. How do you practice without lines? Okay? And the linemen need lines. But work on your reach steps. Boom, right there, using these grids. And it's worth the time. It'd take you maybe 30 minutes to do this the first time, and then after that, you're just touching it up. You're just touching it up every time you do it. It's not bad at all. And so you're working this, and of course you flip it. The other guy works it, and you flip it, and you work it to the left. And it's, boom, you just knock it out. And you start early in the summer teaching them stuff when you can't make contact, when you can't collide with each other. And then when you get into August, you're ready to roll because they know what to do, you know. Okay? Come on, that whiffy's kind of slow. All right, so that was the reach. All right, now next good everyday drill to do with your O-line, especially if you're a gap scheme team. You're in the square, you're in the grid, and you work on your down blocks. Just boom. Okay, you've already done the steps with your bird dog drill. Okay, you do your down blocks, and you put them right there. You see where I've got them drawn up. Right here, put the other guy here, and they work their down blocks. Okay, then you flip them over here, and they work the down blocks the other way. Then they flip, and the triangles will block the circles. So that's pretty good stuff. And these are things you can do every day, and you can do it in 10 minutes once the kids know what you expect of them. Okay, so the down block is pretty good. All right, if you do double teams, the one we did in a previous episode, the hip-to-hip drill. Okay, you do it right there. See, you put them right here. You can do it fit, or you can do it coming off. Okay, and if you do it fit, you can have both of them put their foot right there where the lines intersect, right foot, left foot, fit up on the bag or fit up on the defender. Boom, ready, go. And drive them off the grid. And you're getting a good 5-yard, drive, working on technique. And then you flip it around and come back again. And you're doing it all right there. The lines are drawn up. You ain't got to tell them where to line up. They know where to line up because you do it every day. Okay? All right, next one. Right here. Again, I'm demonstrating how easy it is to use this. And remember, if I can use it, All right, then you institute the hip-to-hip double or hip-to-hip combo where they're going to come off. Okay, you said they're going to drive. You got your guy over here. Again, that was in a previous episode, a few episodes ago, season 2. Just look for hip-to-hip drill. And a few episodes before this one, go back and look at it. And what they do is they're going to take their steps, okay, or they're going to be already taking their steps. Boom, fit up, drive the guy, and then have the backer move one way or the other, and that guy come off and collect him. Okay? Again, everything's done right here in the grid. Moving on. Right here. See, it's just, the My Just Play is just a great toy. And I did all of this with My Just Play. I drew it all up. It's real easy. All right, trap or kick out. To me, I always did the same thing. Left guard, right guard, doesn't matter. If you're right guard and you're kicking right, it's the same as a left guard trapping right. The way I taught it, you get downhill, so you got the line. So you tell them, you start on this side of the line, finish on that side of the line, guaranteeing your kicker, your trapper, is getting downhill so he can't get wrong shouldered. Okay? So they can't trap the trapper. Okay? And squeeze and wrong shoulder the kicker. And you got the lines there. You may want to put them in front of the line and have them step back. I like putting them on this side of the line, take their step, and then finish on the other side of the line. Okay? And what I would do, I'd put the kid right here at the intersection and have him come right here. Boom. Okay? And then sometimes you want to take the kid and move him up here or tell him to move there. So now when your kid's coming right here, he has to adjust his route. Remember a long time ago I told you, some of y'all, that if you're too deep, if you go too shallow, you can always get deeper. But if you're too deep, you can't shallow up. He's already underneath you and blown up the block and sitting in the hole. So this is a great drill if you're a trap or a power team, a counter team, you're working on your kicks. You do it right there in the grid, a piece of cake. Just takes a little time, maybe 30 minutes the first time you do it. And after that, you just, keep you a can of paint nearby. I got a can of paint hidden under the bleachers. And I'll get out there and touch up my lines from time to time. Oh, just did that one. My fault. Here we go. All right. I believe this is the last one. Okay. All right, and there's your wrap to linebacker, like you're wrapping on power or the tackle or the H, wrapping on counter. This is it right here. Put your triangle, your defender up here in the top of the grid. Right here, do your steps. Boom. If you want to put a cone in there, say, hey, wrap around the cone, 2 or 3 cones. I sometimes lay those long half-moon bags right here. Tell them to hug them tight. Okay? Because kids don't have imaginations like we used to when we were kids. I guess that's the technology and video game culture. And I'm not judging. I'm just saying it's hard for them to see things because they're used to seeing things for real in virtual reality. And we used to have to see things in our head growing up. We grew up playing pretend. And so you put a bag there or cones there, tell them to hug that line and get around, and you work on your wrapping. And I just did these. The one to me that's mandatory that I'd recommend if any young O-line coach came to me and said, hey, Coach Chip, what do you recommend, for drills? I said, first off, I do bird dog every day. You do it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You do it pregame Thursday. You do it in your pregame walkthrough for the game on Friday evening or whenever your game is. You always do it, okay? And then everything else, you need to cater it to suit what you're doing. Okay, but skills that your kids need to possess, you need to do them every day. Every day. If you're a team that runs a little zone and a little gap scheme and you're one of those rotators, like on Monday we'll do zone, Tuesday we do power or gap scheme, and then Wednesday we do a little bit of both, that's fine. But you need to work these every day. And anything you do at the beginning of practice needs to be what you work on during practice. Okay? Everything needs to be stacked. You need to be building, stacking things. Start small, work big. Okay, so your ID time, then your group time, like your inside run, then your team time. But in your ID time, you're doing these drills. Working these steps. It don't have to be bang, 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 bang. I'm a firm believer. And guys, I grew up in the 70s playing football when we used to get out there and bang every day. Okay? But I'm a firm believer that the human body only has so many collisions in it. I'm floored by the Matthews family, how many years collectively they played in the NFL. It just amazes me. And they play it at high intensity, a lot of collision. And then there's people that play, just 4 years of high school ball and they get all the collisions out of it. I played 4 years of high school ball and then I played 2 years in college. And still wanted to play, and then I played 2 years. It wasn't semi-pro; it was no pro at all. Just a bunch of guys getting together and playing a bunch of guys somewhere else. Wool pads, the whole thing. Whatever money we took up at the gate, we had to use to pay the officials. And I still remember I was about 25 years old, and I woke up the day after a game. It was a Sunday, and I said, "I'm done. All the collisions were out of me. I wish I could still do it. Absolutely. Not a coach I know doesn't wish he could still do it." But not, but minus the collisions. So this is a good non-colliding way to work footwork, to work technique, to work on every little detail. And it's not the kind of thing you keep wanting to jump in and correct them on everything. You can do that pre-season, okay? But you don't want to hold up the entire group of 10 or 15 kids because one kid keeps screwing it up, taking the wrong step. Keep them after practice. Bring them out before practice. Okay, you're not getting paid by the hour. Okay, so you need to keep them and extra time, and they don't want to be late for practice. Stay late after practice. they don't want to go out early before practice, they'll figure that crap out. And but you take the time to teach them how to do it. And this is a great way to do it. And these grids need to be a permanent part of the lineman's practice area. Okay? All right. Well, that's it. Episode of Football Talk with Coach Chip. This has been season 2, episode 14, everyday drills for the O-line. Remember, you can hit me up on Gmail at siegel.chip@gmail.com. siegel.chip@gmail.com. Football Talk with Coach Chip. Join the conversation on Facebook at Football Talk with Coach Chip, and on Twitter at Chip Siegel. It's real complicated, ain't it? Don't forget our sponsors, Johnny's New York Style Pizza in downtown West Point, Georgia, and Right Equipment. Google them. Right Equipment. Call up there and ask to speak to Leo or Alan Creasy, both former football coaches, been coaching football at a high level in Alabama. I know Leo goes back probably to 60s or 70s, but you never know it to look at. He's in a lot better shape than I'm in. All right, so that's it for this episode. Hey, come on, comment down below, send me your questions, and as always, guys and gals, be elite.